Good morning from Tallinn. In this video, I'm going to try and show you how much you can do in this Baltic capital in just one day if you're off the cruise ship or if you're just coming over for a weekend. And we're going to start at a building that looks pretty unremarkable, but it tells an important part of this area's history. This modern, moving museum tells the story of Estonia's resilience during Soviet and Nazi occupations and their road to freedom. These displays depict the overcrowded cattle carts the Soviet secret police used to transport around 30,000 Estonians to places like Siberia, a journey and destination that killed many. More than 70,000 Estonians also fled Soviet control from 1940 onwards. After a walk through life in Soviet Estonia, it's up the lift to light and a display about the Baltic Way, when more than 2 million people across Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania created a human chain to protest against Soviet control and successfully push for independence. This seesaw display on the way out represents the fragile balance between oppression and freedom. That definitely worth some of your time if you're here in Tallinn. It's not too long a walk outside of the old part of this city. I think it does a really good job of bringing to life the difficult times and now the freedoms that countries like Estonia actually have. To make savings when visiting museums, attractions and using public transport when in Tallinn, you can buy a Tallinn Card. At the end of the video, I'll let you know if it was cost effective for me. This museum allows you to walk along the city walls and towers and take in some great views of Tallinn before heading into their secret underground tunnels and uncover the area's history. Well, from these battlements you get some lovely views out across the city, but a little bit later on we're going to go a little bit further up. And here are the heights we'll hit later in this video with some modern help. After taking in a film on the area's history, it's down into the tunnels under Tallinn that brilliantly bring alive the city's history through the ages. Next up on this channel, I'll take you on a full adventure across all the Baltic states and Finland. To not miss out, hit subscribe. With our next destination in sight, time for a local delicacy. There's lots of birds around, so I'm sure I'll get very popular soon. But if you come to Tallinn or you come to the Baltics, anywhere in Scandinavia as well, have to have the local cinnamon bun. To say that cinnamon bun was amazing would be an understatement. I'll put a link to where I bought it in the description. My reason for wanting to come to this church was two things. There's something very interesting inside, and two, I think this falls into the Rockefeller test that I have the best views of a place, and not necessarily from the highest place or the most famous place, but a place nearby where you get a view of the rest of the town, including the famous place. As you'll see, this church started in the 13th century, but was heavily damaged in World War II, is a fabulous mix of the modern and historic. Now, in addition to being a church, it's a museum for religious art and offers amazing views across Tallinn. The highlight in terms of art is this, the Dance Macabre. It reminds us of the inevitability of death, regardless of status, wealth or power. The actual painting shows kings, clergy, peasants and merchants being led by skeletons to their fate. Now time for the final attraction in this church, a glass elevator to a room with a view. This is quite a room with a view. Here you can see close by the city walls we've just been to. This is modern Baltic Tiger, Tallinn. Unseen behind the Russian Orthodox Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, our dinner date and also an artistic part of the city we'll also see on this video. Finally, the Baltic, and also where we'll finish this film. I admit it, the idea of the lift getting us up there was certainly appealing today as well. But I was right, wasn't I? Fantastic view over Tallinn. We'll carry on looking around the old town in a bit on the video, but now it's time for lunch. Time to go somewhere a bit more modern. Out of the old city, beyond the main railway station, an old industrial part of Tallinn, which is now an explosion of creativity, arts and entertainment, boasting shops showcasing local artists and some great places to eat. Speaking of eating, we've a restaurant to find. You have to say the artwork here is pretty cool, isn't it? Well, for my money, the artwork has brightened up what would have been, and still is in parts, an old industrial site, a dull old industrial site. This restaurant came highly recommended for the way it looked, but also for its twist on a world famous favourite, burger and chips. Well, that burger with the dark bread was amazing, utterly amazing. I'd definitely recommend coming here, but we need to now head back into town to have a final look around a few places that are from a bit further back in time. And remember, at the end of this video, I'll let you know if the Tallinn Card was worth it. Did I make my money back? Back into the old city and to its central square, and a free to enter attraction. If you're enjoying this video, or maybe it's helping you plan a similar trip to Tallinn, please consider stroking the like button. An idyllic place to pause. But we still have an attraction to visit that charts part of the dark history of this city. But first of all, something completely different. This pharmacy, a free attraction, was founded in the 1400s and is a mixture of museum, pharmacy, and alternate view of the city. So, can you guess what that pink building ahead of us is? Clue 1, the flag. Clue 2, the relaxed security. Yes, this is the Russian embassy in Tallinn. The railings in front of the embassy leave you in little doubt of the sympathies of many in Estonia. A minute's walk from the current Russian embassy, somewhere that has echoes of the past and Soviet times. This apartment block holds a dark secret. For nearly 50 years, its basement was cells for the Soviet NKVD and KGB. It's weird to think how close to regular life in the heart of Estonia's largest city these cells are. Dry and warm now, it's not hard to imagine the darker past in this small museum.
Might sound a bit odd, but I'm quite pleased to be out. And sometimes you go in places, don't you, and you feel its history and its dark past, and that's one of those places, but certainly worth going to, if only for a few minutes. That couldn't have been a better antidote to where I've just been. Anyway, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting today, but we're on to probably our final stop on this whistle-stop tour around Old Tallinn.
If you can think of some other places I should take this channel in the future, let me know in the comment section for this video.
And so we arrive at our final destination in Tallinn. And I think it'd be fair to say, these days it wouldn't be given the name that it has now.
Before that though, a quick look around another museum, bringing alive the city and country's maritime history. As we head up for another view, time to decide whether the Tallinn Card was worth it for me. This is what the card cost me. Now, if I'd paid for all of the museums separately and the tram to the airport that I used after I finished filming this video, it would have cost me this much. So this is what the Tallinn Card saved me. So yes, I would say for me the Tallinn Card was worth it, but if you're not going to too many museums and attractions, it's worth doing the calculation yourself.
So I just wanted to come up to this rooftop to give you a view out over Tallinn and over the Baltic.
If you want to compare Tallinn to the other Baltic state capitals, links to videos of my visits to Riga and Vilnius are on the screen now.